welcome back to the Money Talk series. This is episode 18. I'm Esther Orogun, and of course, I'll be your host. It's the Money Talk where we talk about money, money, money. And today, I have some wonderful persons with me that will be joining me, and I'm sure they have interesting things to discuss. Of course, we have a live show here this evening, so we would like you as the audience to participate. But first, let's go to our introduction. So, we'd like to meet you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Moyo Shodipo, COO at Pusha.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dan Botinaka, COO at Red Pillar.
Adam Jera, CEO here at Red Pillar.
So it is pricing is something that is common to every business. As a business, you have a product, you have customers, and of course, you have the price that you sell to them. And there are times where there are several reasons that you might want to increase the price of your product. I'll be starting with you, Mr. Boyo. What is the one thing that you would say is the golden rule of raising pricing without losing customer?
I wouldn't say there's a golden rule. I would say you just need to find the easiest way possible to communicate the challenges to the customer. So most times, if you say you're increasing your price to customers, all they will think is you're trying to make more money. But everyone at certain point in time would realize that there are some things that are caused by the economy in general, and it's caused by issues that's way beyond your control. For example, if the price of fuel increases from 1 naira to 2 naira, there's a way that will affect the cost of goods and services, or the cost of something you're paying for, that would have a ripple effect, and you need to pass on to the customer, unfortunately. So on my own side, in our own business, we try as much as possible to absorb those costs for as long as possible. And when it becomes unbearable, then we reach out to the customer, we let them know this is the situation of things, this is what we've been absorbing for a long period of time, and now sadly we can't keep absorbing this cost. We just have to make this big step to increase the price of what you're paying for this thing, and also show them some sort of analysis, some sort of breakdown that says, if we were charging you 10 naira before, this was the cost, or these were the factors that made us arrive at 10 naira. Now we're trying to increase it to 15 naira. These are the factors that have made us conclude at that decision.
Thank you for that. So basically, communicating to the customer is one way to ensure that your customers are happy. But the thing is, there are times where I've wanted to get something and I notice that maybe I get a notice, a mail, or something from the provider, but it doesn't do enough. I know that the price of fuel has changed, but I still want to get it at the former price. I know that transportation does not cost the same, production does not cost the same, but I still want to get it at this former price, which is what brings me to you, Mr. Daniel. You're a business person, and by default, you should have a sweet mouth. So how do you communicate new pricing to customers without and keep them happy at the same time?
So for me, I would rather want to be strategic about it, right? Most of the times, communicating to them, yes, it goes about a long way. It does the magic. But beyond communication, beyond trying to tell them, I want to increase my pricing, why not be strategic? Why not do something different? So what I would recommend would be something very unique and innovative. So this is a few years back, Coca-Cola used to be very big, right? We have this very big Coca-Cola bottle, And then we all understand that that the economic realities is hitting everybody, and businesses are finding it difficult to run operations. So they want to increase pricing, and they have all the reasons why they should do that. So what Coca-Cola did, they used to sell a drink for 200, or let's say 150, and they wanted to move the price to 200. So what they did is that they left the bottle the way it is, and they created a smaller Coca-Cola, small one, maybe a lesser CL, small one, and they now introduce a smaller fee. So what it means is that they raise the price of one, and then they introduce another one. So what it means is, uh, this is a product. So I come up with another smaller version of that product. If you think I'm expensive, if you think I'm charging you more to offer you this, okay, you can go for the smaller one. So now you've reduced your operation costs, you've reduced the raw material, you've reduced all the things that you will require to deliver that product. So you create a smaller one, and then so the customer has options now. So if they cannot afford a bigger product, they can go for the smaller. So for me, I want to approach it from a strategic point of view.
Okay, and of course, I'm coming to you, Mr. Chera. You are the product person. So, how do you approach pricing from creating multiple products? Do you think that is a sustainable solution for keeping customers happy?
Yes. For me, it's about value. When you give someone value for their money, even if price is relatively high, they see reasons why they should pay for it. So I will come, like Daniel mentioned, strategic. I will come from the angle of value, and of course, speaking with key stakeholders, meaning key customers first. Understanding their perception of the product and what we are selling. So when you sell the future to them, um, like Daniel also mentioned, having a version. The future in this case is a version of what is to come. So you are better off selling. So if you just want to improve your overall product, your experience, you cannot sell the same thing for higher amounts. Nobody will like it. But when you're selling an improved version of your product, like we're having regular 2.0. So if I tell some people here now that the cost of doing a bank transfer is XYZ naira, and we tell them all the good things about it, I think they will begin to reckon with us. Say, oh, okay, I think it's still fine. So from the point of values where I've come from.
Okay, so part of what we're really looking at is without losing customers. You want to raise pricing without losing customers. But I happen to share a different view. I feel that customers would leave anyway. Customers would leave. So why not just raise your pricing? Like they would leave. Why don't you just raise your pricing? Or what do you think?
We need everyone need customers. First, you need customers to learn for you to learn about your own product that you built. Sometimes you could build a product and people use it in a way that you didn't expect. And then you begin to see, oh, I think the way these guys are using product, we should look at this angle. And then before you know it, you use them in a way to improve your product or your service. And of course, at some point, a customer will always leave. They could leave to have their own, after leveraging you for some time. But the goal here is that you should not be looking at them leaving, but enjoying the experience while they are with you. They are with you for 2 years, 10 years, X years. They should enjoy the entire experience, and they should want to refer you to that businesses and look back and say, oh, I enjoyed using Red Pillar. In fact, if it was not Red Pillar, it's nothing.
Okay, so we're still talking about not losing customers here, and there is the economic reality that is forcing businesses to raise prices. So, how often should a business raise prices? Because there are times that you just get to the market and you see the price of something and you're like, "There's no way I'm buying this. Like, this is too ridiculous." So, how often should a business increase pricing, or what are the conditions that you think necessitates a business increasing pricing? Because economic reality would continue to change, of course. So does it mean that every time the business raises the price, business drops it or something like that?
This is a very tricky one, but My own policy is do not raise price until when it becomes unbearable. I think I mentioned this earlier on. You need to make sure the price of oil cannot increase today and then tomorrow you're telling your customers the price is going up. It doesn't work that way. You lose all your customers. So you need to be very strategic when raising it. You need to find out from a little subset of customers, a couple of customers, maybe your high value customers, pitch it to them, let them know that we're looking at raising our pricing by X% because of XYZ. When you do that, it give you an idea of if it's feasible, and if it's not feasible, you would cancel that raise. So it pretty much the only time you should raise your pricing is when it's no longer bearable, when the losses have become too much for the company to absorb. That's why when you're making profits, you need to sort of save for the rainy day. You keep some of that profit for when you'll be unable to raise your pricing. So that one that you've kept in your back pocket, you just use it to shock yourself in the meantime until when you absolutely have to raise pricing. So I can't give a definite response. I can't say you should raise prices every month or every 2 months or anytime there's an economic downturn, because of course that thing is pinching on the customers a lot at the same time. So I would say you should only raise pricing when your business can no longer afford to subsidize the cost of that service to the customer.
And it looks like our hands are busy. Okay, so for me, when should a business raise their pricing? I know that for every business there's a formula that applies to basically every business, and the formula is cost and sales. Every business is buying or selling something, right? So if I buy for 5 naira, I can't sell 5 naira. So I have to sell beyond 5 naira to be profitable. What we see is that a lot of businesses are not profitable because they don't decide to ignore this, but it will not take time. The business will shut down. So when should a business raise prices? I think it's a function of operations. It's a function. You look at what is taking you, like the resource that you put into delivering your service, and you look at it from a cost and profit angle. You look at, if it's taking me 10,000 naira to deliver this product and I'm actually selling for 12,000, but now I need 13,000 naira to deliver this product. Definitely you can't sell for 12,000 naira anymore. Add a little. Don't be greedy. Just add a little, and then there's no other way. You are spending more to deliver the product. You just have to add something to it. Well, yeah, Moya and Daniel are really hitting. It's I'm not going to repeat what you've said because that's actually what I'm going to say. But I'll come from the angle of what's how you should increase your pricing. No, I would prefer that while increasing your pricing, you should add a little margin, because you cannot increase price this month. By February you're coming again to increase price. So if you're going from 10 naira to 12 naira, rather than landing at 12 naira, for example, you could add a little margin in case your calculations were wrong. So, and then you will notice that other competitors in the space who are increasing their pricing for obvious reasons. Maybe there's some policy, economic realities. Everyone is increasing pricing, but you are not increasing price. The customers begin to wonder that, so Red Bull has not increased their price. What's happening here? That's because we long foresaw this a while from happening. So, and then when that happens, so it could increase the pricing based on certain formulas, and then of course when it does not happen, it could be once in a year, once in 2 years, once in 3 years, whichever time it is. And everyone should have their own formula. Some people or some businesses might say they don't want to go below 20% profit margin. Want to keep 20% profit margin or 18%. But once it's lower than that, then it's a red flag. So you need to revisit these things. And of course, like we are coming from, while increasing your pricing, you should also look inward and see whether your services, your products is worthy
of that price increment. If not, you will lose them all the way. Like this.
From what we've been talking about, especially the percentage of price margin that the business should set, I think that part of the reasons why businesses meet with irritation on the part of the customers is not having an appropriate profit margin. So you have businesses that they have almost 100% profit margin, and you're like, there is no way this service or this product should cost up to this, or there is no way I'm paying this for something like this. However, you also mentioned that businesses need to plan ahead, because you cannot increase pricing today and come back and increase pricing tomorrow. So in that case, how are you able to manage it, or how can businesses manage it when increasing pricing while bearing in mind that they cannot increase that pricing in the nearest future? So how do they, my question is, how can you determine the appropriate profit margin in a situation like that?
Okay. First, it depends on who you are selling to. If you target businesses who will love to, temp as have a lot to lose, they will want to pay, in quotes, anything to safeguard what they have. So if you have target small businesses and then you present to them, this is what's on ground, they might see beyond what you're saying. They too, they know, because of course regular is a business, so I will target B2B as well as B2C, but our focus is B2B. So businesses understand this game a lot, and they understand these figures, this number. So depending on the target audience, and of course when you understand your market, when you understand your customers a lot, and I don't just mean their name, know them by name, but understand their operations, it will guide you as to how you should, manage pricing you give them. Now, of course, it's customizable. It's not one size fits all. This could pay X, this could pay Y. So depending on their needs and their capacity. So like my friend here is he runs a very big business, and he understands perfectly well, how businesses operate. So that's just that.
Okay, thank you so much for that. For me, three things have stood out for me this evening, and it is one from Mr. Moyo. He said to communicate. Mr. Daniel said that you should present an alternative, and you, Mr. Gerard, said that you should offer value in other areas. So I don't know which one stands out for you, or what you've found as, or what something that you found helpful in increasing pricing, maybe in your business, or something that a business has done that you have found very convenient despite them increasing their pricing. So this video will be available on YouTube. I wish I could take comments from us, but because of our time I won't be able to do that. So this is the part where I tell you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just search for Red Villa and like, share, and comment what you think about tips that businesses can use to increase their pricing without losing customers. Thank you so much, Mr. Moyo. Thank you, Mr. Daniel. Thank you, Mr. Gerard, for joining us. I wanted to say till we come your way next week, but I'm not sure we'll come. We would invite everyone to join us next week. Thank you very much for listening.